Um, Hi guys, welcome to this getting started with OBS part 4. So in the previous videos, we've been able to walk through the entire screen and to see the different sections of OBS. The last video we talked about the settings, configuring your settings and deciding which folder you want to save your recorded videos. In this video, we are going to talk about the scenes and the sources that we are seeing here by the lower left corner of the bottom pane. So first thing I want to let you know is that as you keep adding contents, as you keep adding scenes or sources, it's going to be like a long list. So what you could do is you could drag your bottom pane, to the top so that you have more space to scroll up or down. How do you do that? Is by moving your mouse to somewhere around here or here, but you get the idea. You're going to see your cursor turning to upward and downward pointing arrow. Click and hold and drag up a little bit. It shrinks your top screen, which we don't really need. This is where our focus is, on the bottom pane, because we're going to be doing a lot of moving up or down. So how do you get started? Remember, from previous videos, when you start your OBS, when you launch your OBS applications, you're not going to see any of what you're seeing now. Like here, I have my webcam is showing my face, and then there's a circular cropping, which crops my picture, making it look a little bit nicer and not the square box that you commonly see in other people's video. Here we have a background which is like an African map. I love it so much. I just like keeping it there. And then you have like a flower basket here. This is overall background. So this layer is before this layer and before me. And as you can see here, I have three objects: the round camera, which is me, and the intro background, which is the African map, then the BG4, which is the flower vase. If I click on this eye, I can hide the first background, which is the flower vase. If I click on the second one, I could hide the African map. And if I click on the round webcam, I could hide my webcam. And that's basically what's happening here under the sources. But source number one, source number two, which is intro background, and source number three, which is BG4, they are all under the intro one scene. So I created a scene here called intro one, and then I need to add sources to that scene. I have another scene here called intro 2, and then I have two sources here. I have another scene here called intro video, and then in the intro video I have only one source, which is a pre-recorded video saved somewhere in my computer. And then I have presentation plus round camera. I have another scene here again with a folder source and a background source. And then finally, I have round webcam. Actually, this webcam here, this is the source. This is the first thing I created was to configure my webcam. And then in every of these, I'm actually using the same webcam in all of these. So you can see the camera remains the same. So the round webcam here, what does it contain? I had to set my Logitech external camera, and then I set the round, cropping. And then if I want to add shadow effect to this cropping here, I can enable this guy. And this is what you've been seeing in my previous videos. If I go to scene 1 again, you see that that effect would follow scene 1. That's intro 1 scene. You see that that shadow effect follows. But all of that configuration was done under round webcam. If I also go to intro number 2, you could see what that is. All right. And every other places that I am using this round webcam, the settings follows every other scene that I am, applying it to. I'm going to show you how to do this step by step, but this is just to walk you through what you have been seeing and how I created them, which is very simple. Again, if you don't understand this video, watching it at the first time. You need to rewatch it again and grab the whole concept. It is very simple. When you get the hang of it, you're just going to be doing amazing things, even more than what I have done. What you're seeing here is just a picture background and camera. Two things: picture background and camera. The camera is, like I said, is already here with no background. It has only two items: Logitech camera and round shadow. If I remove the shadow again, if I go to scene one, you're gonna see the camera but with no shadow. But if I come to webcam and add the shadow can be blue, it can be any color of your choice, and then I'll give you this kind of round stuff if you need it later. It is not important, it is not the basic, but this is just to show you that there's no magic or anything special in what you've been seeing in my videos. But that is just a concept, and these are all little secret that basically people would not show you how they go about doing these things. You just watch videos on the internet and you're like, wow, how did you do that, or how did she or he does do that. And most times you could use expensive software, but all what I'm showing you in this training series is with free software. You don't need to spend a penny or a dollar or a kobo, if you're in Nigeria, to get any of these things achieved. Okay, so let's continue. Run webcam out of the way. When you first launch your app, right, this is what you're going to see: blank. You're going to see scene, and under sources you have blank. And so it's now up to you to begin to add whatever source you want to add. As you can see under sources here, when I click on scene, the blank scene, intro one, intro two, intro video, presentation plus round camera. These are all sub scenes that I created after I started, just to prepare, my workflow. You can do your, practice preparing your own workflow, which I'm going to show you how to, much later. So on the blank scene, when you come into OBS, this is what you're going to see: select a scene or create one. How do you create a scene? Just click on this plus icon, give your scene a name. So I could say demo scene one, and click on OK. Automatically you see demo scene one is here. I can create another scene and I can call that demo scene 2, and click on OK. I have demo scene 2. Now you can as well, depending on what you want to present first or later, you can rearrange your scene. How do you rearrange? By simply clicking on a scene, dragging up or down and leaving it. So demo scene 1 has now moved above intro video. You can do the same thing with demo scene 2. I can move demo scene 2 to the second layer. And if you are presenting, okay, and you're looking at the camera, all I need to do is click on whichever scene you are. Like I'm in this scene, I am talking, I'm presenting. I don't necessarily need to look at my keyboard. I keep my hand on the down arrow key. When I'm done talking about the content of the first scene and I want to move to talk about the content of demo scene 2, I could just press the down arrow and I continue talking. Then I move from there, I press the down arrow, it takes me to another scene. In this scene now, you could see my face and whatever is on the background. I want to talk about them. And I'm done talking about that. I click on the down arrow and then I keep moving from scene to scene. You get the idea. This is how the professionals present their content. And very rare do people know all of these things. So if you apply this concept in your video strategy, you're going to attract millions of views. It is not, bragging. That's just the truth. Because people don't take the time to create quality content. You just have garbage everywhere, which I'm going to show you when I'm trying to show you sources and what people are doing. And then yet still they're still getting millions of views. So that's it about the scenes and in the next section, I'm going to walk you through for each scene how do you create sources, for each scene. So going back to scene one, if I need to move it, going back to the default scene, that is when you start your OBS as a fresh, starter, um, whereby there's nothing. Um, you could see under its sources. So the possible sources you can add to this scene, you have a picture. You can share a picture. You can share your screen. You can share your browser, and you can also share, your camera. So those are the four basic media that you can bring into this scene and present. For example, intro one, I brought in three medias here. I brought in the camera, I brought in intro background, which is a picture, and I also brought in another background, which is also a picture. So the intro background here is just African map picture, which is imposed on the other background, which is the flower vase. That's it. So two pictures and on top of each other, and then a camera showing my face. That's basically what's happening here. So I'm going to stop this here, and in the next video I'll walk you through how to add sources to each of these scenes and then rearranging your content or your scene based on the story you want to tell. So thank you for watching, and head with me to the next video.